Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful, rainy spring weather, Victoria, here in Western Canada. I hope everybody is having a super week so far. Welcome Anna, hi Fuang. Nice to see our members in the class. Hi Dimitri. To get the Zoom links, Dimitri, I send an email out each week. If you don't get those, make sure you're getting emails from admin@aehelp.com and they're not going to your spam and trash folder. For the next week, Tuesday, Wednesday class, I will send that email on Friday or Saturday. Hi, Ariadna, Single and Savvy, Deborah, Nimit. Nice to see many of our students in the class. Everybody, this is an IELTS speaking part 1. We're going to be talking about numbers. Of course, math, the universal language. Numbers are important, and certainly IELTS tests your ability to talk about numbers and use numbers in the English language. Everybody, this lesson is coming from aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. They contain all of our materials, our practice exams, and much, much more. Our academic website looks like this at aehelp.com. You can click this big red button that's just above my head there to join the premium version of our course and to get access to those exclusive Zoom classes. We are an IDP affiliate. We are a British Council partner and an IELTS test registration center. Today you will get a taste of those Zoom classes because we will have some Zoom speaking interactions shortly. For the general IELTS, everybody, it's gieltshelp.com. You want to click that big red button there. It's just above my head. And again, it's just a one-time payment for lifetime access. We help thousands of students every month improve their English and succeed on their IELTS exam. Dimitri, send me an email and we can definitely help you out with that, okay? All right, everyone. So if you are interested in what those premium student Zoom classes look like, you can check out this link here. I will put that into the chat, so you can click on it. There you go, and then we can highlight that a little better for you. There you are. We have a new code, everybody. It's effective 9. You can use that code on the websites for another 10% discount. That's coming from a new video that explains how you can measure the effectiveness of the IELTS strategies that you are hearing and learning about on the internet and in your classrooms. For the apps, check out Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. And if you have questions and if you like to edit videos and you're looking for work in video editing, or you have questions, of course, about IELTS, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and admin@aehelp.com. We have our new schedule. Deborah says, I watched it to the end and it's very useful. I'm glad you like that new video, Deborah. So the new schedule, today is speaking, tomorrow it's task 2 writing, followed by listening parts 3 and 4 for the listening exam we started last week. And then on Saturday, we'll have speaking part 2 and 3 on YouTube. And we'll have another Zoom class on Tuesday, the 30th. That new video that I keep mentioning is this one here. It explains how you should understand strategies. There are so many strategies and tips for the IELTS that you can find online on the internet, and even ChatGPT is going to be a little bit confused because, of course, ChatGPT is using all of that advice that it's finding on the internet. Some of it's good, some of it's okay, some of it is bad. You need to know what strategies work and what strategies don't work for you. Different people are different. Some strategies work for everybody, some strategies don't. Some strategies work for some while they don't work for others. It depends on a lot of factors. Like in the speaking section, are you introverted? Are you social? Are you extroverted? That can impact what kind of strategy could work for you or not. Okay, so you need to really kind of be aware of this. All right, so that's the link there. And you can find that video and watch it to the end. It's very, very useful. Now, the speaking. In IELTS, your speaking interview is 12 to 15 minutes. It can be done one of three ways. The most popular is still face-to-face. You go to the exam center, you sit down, you face an examiner, often a native English speaker, sometimes not, and then they will ask you some questions about your hobbies, sports, or some other general topic like numbers, what we're looking at today. And then they'll have a part 2 and a part 3. The first part takes about 5-6 minutes. The purpose is to get you to feel comfortable and for the examiner to get a global idea of your English skills, your strengths and your weaknesses. So in part 1, they're looking at your ability to control language, to stay fluent, to be confident in your speaking, because that affects your coherence, and so they're looking for coherence. And so that's what we will practice in this class, starting with numbers. So you go to your IELTS exam, you go nice and early, about an hour before. You use English on your exam day. You speak to your friends in English, your family in English. Maybe you have a tutor that you can speak to in English. Chayani, that's great. Here, I can help you with that. Chayani is going to be... There you go, Chayani. I just upgraded you. It's nice to see you in the class. Chayani is one of our longtime students, and Chayani is requesting to be upgraded to a moderator. I hope Australia is treating you well, Chayani. It's good to see you in the class. All right. Got a little derailed there. I get excited when we see our students come back. All right, so again, you go nice and early, you practice English. Do not, students, this is my first tip to you, and it's a big one. Do not show up 20 minutes before your IELTS speaking to register, and then stay quiet or speak in a language different than English. Again, that's a really bad idea. So if you want to get a nice high band score, for sure, be speaking or be in the English language. Okay, there you are, Chayani. You're all in blue. Awesome. Okay, so Chayani can now moderate. Chayani's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the IELTS exam. Herself a successful IELTS candidate now living in Australia, right, Chayani? All right. So students, you're there early, you're practicing, you're building your confidence, all right? Then you go into your exam and you meet with the examiner, and the examiner says, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. It has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. We are conducting this exam in Sydney, Australia. The time right now is 18 o'clock. Let's begin. And then they will ask you the very, very first question. May I see your identification? Go ahead, students. Answer this question for me in the chat. Now, a very important tip. This is tip number 2. Start with professional language, clear, professional, complete sentences, okay? So, tip number 2. Start with coherent, full sentences. Use the question and use professional communication. Okay? So, right away, this helps to get your brain in the correct thought pattern or the correct communication pattern. Okay? Jamila says, sure, here is my ID. Please have a look. Sure is okay. I think sure is maybe a little bit too friendly for meeting a person for the first time, like an examiner. So I would go with something like yes, certainly, or yes, of course, or yes, gladly. Sure is kind of like, are we really that friendly? Maybe. Yes, certainly. Here is my passport. Please have a look. Okay. So Sunil has this answer for us in the chat. Sunil says, yes, certainly. Here's my ID that I have used to register for my exam. Don't make mistakes with these simpler startup questions. Definitely you want to show the examiner that you are perfect for these first few questions. So yes, certainly, here's my ID that I have used to register for my exam. Okay, don't make mistakes. Technically, the examiner is not marking you yet, but they are judging. Okay, so of course they're judging. Okay. Ariadna has this answer for us. Gladly, this is my passport that I have used to register for this exam. Please take a look. Perfect. Okay, so that's a band 9 start. That especially when said with confidence. The next question, while you're holding your passport, the examiner will ask you, what is your full name? Again, polite, full name, professional. You're meeting this person for the first time. They're an expert. They're doing their job to measure your English proficiency. They're an administrator. You want to be polite and professional with them. Okay? So you want to give an answer something like this. My given name is Franklin, and my family name is Johnston. Please just call me Frank. Okay, they will ask you, what should I call you, if you don't tell them, and it's kind of awkward because the examiners usually assume that most people prepared for the exam. When you don't tell them what you want to be called, they think you're either really nervous or you didn't really prepare enough. And you don't want either of those. You want to feel confident. You want the examiner to feel your confidence. And you want to make sure that it seems that you prepared for the exam, okay? So my given name is Franklin and my family name is Johnston. Please just call me Frank. Okay. Single and Savvy at 40 says, my given names are Ade Silva and my surname is Durayai, but you can call me Ade. Please call me. Please call me is just more polite and it's more suited for this situation. Single and Savvy, you can call me. It gives permission, and that kind of comes across as awkward, especially if the examiner is a generation older. So giving permission to a 50-year-old for a 20-year-old that you can call me this during the exam, it's kind of like, really? You're giving me permission? I'll call you whatever I want. I'm the examiner. No, they won't do that. At least they shouldn't do that. But it's more suitable or more natural for this situation to say, please call me. Okay? So it just makes more sense in natural English, especially if you're in the US or Canada, but I think the UK, Australia as well. All right, so Michael, same thing. I don't know why does everybody think it's the you can call me? Can anybody tell me where everybody's getting this from? The you can call me as what you should be saying? Is that a viral video or just some, like, where's that coming from? I'm sure some English speakers will say, well, it's not the end of the world, and they'll kind of protect that opinion that it's okay to say you can call me. But really, like, if you really talk to people in this situation, they will say please call me is definitely a better choice. So I'm just wondering where everybody's getting the you can call me from. I don't know, maybe I'm missing some kind of viral video or some information where they're like, just say you can call me. I wonder where that's coming from. All right. Anyway, Spirit says it's a viral video. Okay. Yeah. So that's why everybody, you have to be careful with what's called majority opinion. Majority opinion isn't always the best source of knowledge. And that's what this video that we just released is talking about. Alexander says, in The Big Lebowski, they never say you can call me. That's funny, Alexander. Very good. Okay. Yes, Ken. We are here for you. Good luck on your test on Sunday. Okay, I guess I'm the one that missed that viral video. All right, so then after they ask for your passport, after they ask for your name, they ask you a couple of general questions that you should be really familiar with as long as you watch some of these viral videos. So they will ask about your free time or your hobbies or if you go to work or school. So just those very, very typical questions that people often hear early in their language learning journey. So here is one of the most common questions you will get asked. They're still kind of not marking you here technically, but they are listening to your English. So they will ask, do you work or study? Now, here's another tip, everybody. Use each question to shine. So you should never just kind of half answer any question. Okay, tip number 3. Every answer must be your best. Never just kind of answer a question. Because as soon as you start to kind of answer a question, you start to lose marks. Okay? So never just kind of answer a question. Always really give every question 100%. Okay. So take a look at Anna's answer here. Anna, that's a great answer. So Anna says, I work as a lawyer in an international law firm, and I have been doing this job since October 2021. Okay, great. So this is a nice compound complex sentence. It's not super long, but it does tell me that Anna is clearly a lawyer. Check, check. That's great. And it also tells me that she has been doing this job for roughly 3 years and will continue doing this using the present perfect. So that's great. It's not over the top. It's accurate, good grammar, and it can sustain or start the band 9. Okay? It's very good. Alexander, very good. So Alexander says this. Here's another great example of kind of a confident band 9 start. Alexander says, I neither work or study. Often we use neither with nor. It's either or, neither nor. nor is the negative or. It's like not this, not that. Okay, Alexander? So or is okay. And in speaking, everybody, we do often in native English say neither or. However, it is better, more accurate to say nor. I won't take a mark for that if I'm your examiner, but I will be more impressed if you use nor. Okay, so neither nor is nice because it's a correlative conjunction and it shows emphasis and control of language. So I neither work nor study except preparation for the IELTS test. Now here, Alexander, I like it. However, I would love to hear a reason for that. Okay, so again, logic dictates that I want a reason. So I would say something like, because I'm passionate about English, and this is a good exam to not only prove my proficiency, but also elevate my advanced English communication. Right, because IELTS doesn't just train you to speak English well, right? A band 7 is good, but it also guides you to expert level communication. So Alexander, this would be your band 9 complete answer, or something like this, okay? Where you say, I neither work nor study except preparation for the IELTS test because I'm passionate about English, and this is a good exam to not only prove my proficiency, but also elevate my advanced English communication. And then I'm like, ooh, that's impressive. You've been studying hard. Okay, Constellation, nice to have you in the class. Wow, we've got lots of students. That's lovely. Great. So they will likely ask you 2 questions at the start that are aimed to make you feel comfortable. Now, you shouldn't just feel comfortable with these first couple questions, but you should also remember your strategies, like giving answers and explanations and including the odd example. Okay, so next question is, what did you do this morning? Okay, now this question for this topic, remember today we're talking about numbers for part 1. So this question, what did you do this morning, is an excellent reminder of the importance of quantification, quantitative communication, quantitative communication, meaning numbers, use of numbers. Okay. Super duper important. Okay, math is the universal language. Not just because we all learn math, but because it's the most objective way to express our inner thoughts. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is an extremely important tip to help you boost your band score quickly for your IELTS exam. So math, meaning numbers, is the universal language, not just because we all learn math, but also because it is our most objective tool to express our very subjective inner self. Okay, so for example, if I say something like this to you, the grocery store is so far from my house, and then you're like, okay, well, how far is it? And you're like, it's almost a kilometer away. And you're like, whoa, but what? A kilometer away? That's not so far. What, are you kidding me? And then I go, well, yeah, but I sit and never exercise, so I get tired after walking for 2 minutes. I hope that's not the situation, everybody. But anyway, so the inner self is well explained by numbers. Okay? So the grocery store is so far from my house, it's almost a kilometer away. And then the person's like, what? I sit and never exercise, so I get tired after walking for 2 minutes. And then we go, oh. Okay, so numbers are really, 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 really useful. Hi for Dobbs. All right, Ariadna says... I like it, Ariadna. Ariadna says, for this question, so we're on the question of what did you do this morning? Ariadna says, I rolled out of bed around 7 a.m., showered, had a glass of water, cereal for breakfast, brushed my teeth. Then I dressed and took the bus around 10 near my home. Oh, the bus number 10. I got you. Number 10 near my home around 9 a.m. to get to this exam center on time. That's perfect. It's maybe a little bit too concise. Not much, but a little bit. So notice, everybody, how Ariadna is doing a great job kind of listing, but still speaking in fluent, clear English. So I rolled out of bed. Nice idiomatic expression here. Okay. We definitely use idioms in our spoken English, just not more than once every couple of sentences, right? And so I rolled out of bed around 7 a.m., showered, had a glass of water, cereal for breakfast, and then brushed my teeth. We would add that little bit there, okay? Then I dressed and took bus number 10 near my home around 9 a.m., to get to this exam center on time. Now it is a band 9 level response. Look at all the lovely, lovely numbers here, everybody. So 7 a.m. Bus number 10. Around 9 a.m. So I can follow the timeline. So between rolling out of bed and taking the bus, Ariadna took 2 hours. And that's fantastic. Okay. All right. Anahita. Lovely to see lots of members jumping in on these questions. Anahita says, the same to other mornings. I ate my breakfast and brushed my teeth. However, I didn't exercise and listen to the Holy Quran because I came here for taking the IELTS exam, unlike the other days. And the exam happened from 9 a.m. To 10:30 p.m. Okay, a little bit of correction, making it a little bit more natural, a little bit less wordy, Anahita. So, the same as other mornings, I ate my breakfast and brushed my teeth. However, I didn't exercise or listen to the Holy Quran because I came here to take the IELTS exam. You don't need to say unlike the other days, that's clear. Which was from adjective clause, which was from 9 a.m. to 12:30. You don't need the p.m. We understand that from the 9 a.m. We would say the written part because you're in the speaking section. So the written part of the IELTS exam. Okay, Anahita, that would be the most natural or common way to express those thoughts. All right. So again, numbers though, 9 a.m. to 12:30. So that means that on a usual morning, Anahita between 9 and 12:30 goes to exercise and to participate in prayer. So we know that didn't happen, right? Again, because of quantification, that universal use of numbers. Dimitri has this answer for us. I started off my day at 8 a.m. with a couple of warm-up exercises as it helps me stay in good shape, as these help me, because exercises, you said, right? Plural. These help me stay in good shape. Then I brushed my teeth, washed my face using a foaming cleanser, and had an amazing breakfast. Okay, so Dimitri, this is not bad. Now, here comes another very important tip, everybody, and this kind of goes back to using numbers as well. So another tip for getting better band scores on the IELTS speaking, so tip number 5 is use empathetic content, or say empathetic content. This means think about what your examiner would like to know based on your answer. Okay? And make sure to include this. In a concise explanation. What do I mean by that? Well, take a look at Dimitri's answer here. So Dimitri says, I started off my day at 8 a.m. with a couple of warm-up exercises, as these help me stay in good shape. Then I brushed my teeth, washed my face using a foaming cleanser, and had an amazing breakfast. All right, what questions do you think would pop up in the examiner's mind at this point? So Nikita, Sahil, for Dovs, what do you think? So what kind of a question would pop into your mind and be like, oh, I wonder? Yes, Anahita says, why an amazing breakfast? I would be curious, what was the amazing breakfast? I want to taste. Maybe it's because all I had was a bowl of cereal today and I'm still hungry. But the examiner could be too, especially if you're speaking's in the morning. So, what was that amazing breakfast? That's one. Jania says, why is the foaming cleanser so important? Dimitri says the exact time. So different people, different curiosities, for sure. I'm curious about the breakfast and those exercises that you're doing, Dimitri. Chayani says, what did you eat for breakfast? Carolina, nice to see you. All right. By the way, viewers, definitely make use of the moderators. Chayani and Carolina are here to help. So ask them questions. They are full of knowledge. Okay. Ferdov says maybe he had a full English breakfast. Maybe. So Dimitri, if I want to make this a really good answer, I would say something like, I started off my day at 9 a.m. with a couple of warm-up exercises, some yoga and weight training, or just some stretches, whatever it is, but just a little bit more detail. Some yoga and weight training, as these help me stay in good shape. Then I brushed my teeth, washed my face using a foam cleanser to have a nice complexion. Complexion is the state of your skin, of your face. Okay, complexion. Nice complexion. And then had an amazing, if you say English breakfast, sure, meaning like eggs, muffin, bacon, something like that. Even just adding English breakfast is so much better. And now I'm like, wow, that's some really clear communication. So I really only added 6 words. Some yoga and weight training, 5 words, right? And then English to breakfast. And that's all I added, but it really just kind of elevates that answer from a band 8 to a band 9, or from a band 9 to a band 9 plus, right? What I mean by that is the examiner's thinking like, wow, that's some really good communication. Okay. All right. So then the examiner will say, let's talk about your numbers. Okay, before we jump into that, everybody, this is speaking, so make sure that you speak and repeat. Okay, so copy what I say. Copy how I say it. It's great that you're listening to me, but you want to copy what I say. Copy how I say it. Okay. All right. Again, everybody, just a tip. If you like this class, if you like this video, definitely visit us at aehelp.com, and then you can sign up for the premium version and get all of our videos and tests and tips and exams. Okay, so aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com. Thank you, Chayani. Yes, speak and repeat. Chayani, great use of those emojis. Nice. All right. So students, the examiner introduces the topic of numbers. As soon as you hear that topic, while the examiner is preparing themselves, you can think of vocabulary that is related to numbers. So when you think of numbers in English, what kind of vocabulary pops into your mind? Just give me a list, student, a list of words that come to mind when you're thinking of numbers. So when you hear this word in English, numbers, you think this. When you hear that word, you think this. So what do you think about? Firdaus, sure, lucky number. Most people have one. Lucky number. Why not? Numerical, sure, it's the adjective form, right? Okay. Math, percent. Yep. Algebra. Okay. Value. Numeric. Yeah. Measurement. Thank you, Nimit. That's an important word. Measure. Yes. Calculate. Yes. Very nice. Now you're thinking, right? What are numbers used for, right? Phone number, very good. So important numbers, phone number, address, absolutely. Dates, yes, very good. Okay, excellent. Now we've got the brain moving in the right direction. Equation, yes, very good. Quantity, right? Quantification. Okay. So the definition by numbers, house number, that's right. Not your, well, door number, Nilufer, but it's probably your house number if it's a house, or apartment number. Mensa's, how about the unlucky number? Often people think of number 13 or number 4 if you're in Japan, right? Figure is also a synonym for number. Absolutely. Age, height, weight, distance, absolutely. All of those come into play. Time, but of course. Chayani says, how about my bank account number? Please don't share your bank account number, Chayani. Yes. So bank account number, sure. Okay. Postcode, yes. Maybe credit card number. Social security number. Right? Temperature. Lots and lots of numbers. So in a perfect world, those are flying through your head. Your salary, yes, your pay, absolutely. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Date of birth, absolutely, which is also a number, right? Okay, so here we go, everybody. Good. Now you should have all of that information flying around in your head. And then the examiner will ask you, what is your favorite number and why? Okay, give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Michael says, to be honest, if I had to choose a number as my best answer, I would say the number 1 because it depicts my first position of all. Michael, that's a little bit of a strange answer. I don't need you to be honest with your favorite number. Just tell me what it is. Okay, that will not get a very good mark. So, Michael, this answer would be about a band 5. It is awkward and confusing. First of all, you don't need to tell me to be honest. It would be, why would you lie about your favorite number? It's strange. If you have multiple numbers, you can say, if I had to choose a number, I would say you don't need this. I would say the number 1 because it depicts my first position of all. This doesn't make sense. Okay, so a lot of this answer, Michael, is awkward and doesn't make sense, and that's fine. It's how we learn, right? Just remember that this will only get you a band 5 in the IELTS. It's a modest answer. It's a bit unclear. I have to kind of guess what you're trying to tell me. If I had to choose a number, I would say the number 1 is my favorite because it depicts my ambition to be first. This is the number I chose for my football jersey. Okay, so this would be the band 9 version of it. Okay. So if I had to choose a number, I would say the number 1 is my favorite because it depicts my ambition to be first. This is the number I chose for my football jersey. Now I get what you're saying. Okay. Li Wang says, my favorite number is 7. I love this number because of my idol Cristiano Ronaldo. Used to wear the same number kit. I'm not sure what that means, Li Wang, but I think what you're trying to tell me is this is Cristiano Ronaldo's jersey for football and when he played in what league, right? So my favorite number is 7. I love this number because my idol, so this like this would be again a band 5. Okay, it's again modest English. It's a bit confusing. It's a bit unclear. So my favorite number is 7. I love this number because my idol Cristiano Ronaldo used to wear the same number, and he is one of the best footballers of all time. Okay, now it's clear. Believe it or not, students, some examiners might not know who Ronaldo is. I know that sounds crazy, and you're like, well, do the examiners live on the moon or on Mars? It might just be an elderly woman who's really not into football and has never really paid attention to who Ronaldo is. And so you want to explain that clearly, empathetic speaking, or it could be an elderly gentleman who just never was into football. And maybe in his mind, still the best football player who ever lived was Maradona, the Argentinian, because that was from his generation. Right? So you don't know, okay? Don't assume that the examiner knows what you know. All right? So be very, very careful about that, students. Okay. All right. Lee says, noted. All right. Let's go to the next question here. What numbers do you use often? So give me a nice full sentence answer for this question. What numbers do you use often? Let me give you an answer for this as well, and then I will look at your answers in the chat. Okay, see how well they match up with my answer. All right. Okay. So what numbers do you use often? Most frequently, like as much as once or twice a day. The numbers that I use to access online services or communicate with my friends, family, and colleagues are my phone number, my bank account number, and some numbers for online passwords. The latter is probably the one I use the most. And of course, don't share those numbers. So here again, answer, explanation. You don't need to list all of them. Don't say credit card, address, social insurance. So don't start listing all of them. 2 or 3 are enough. Just make sure that you quantify it once or twice a day. Okay. So most frequently, paraphrasing the often, right? Most frequently, like as much as once or twice a day. The numbers that I use to access online services or communicate with friends, family, and colleagues are my phone number, my bank account number, and some numbers for online passwords. The latter is probably the one I use most, meaning my online passwords. All right. Aman. Has this answer for us. Well, in my daily life, I usually use numbers like to call up my parents' friends. Moreover, I probably use one-time password numbers to access my accounts. Okay. Aman, it's a good start. So this could be like a band 7. Okay. It's fairly clear, clean English. And you're giving me kind of an answer. So I'm like, okay, I get you, Aman. I get what you're saying. What would really help me to say that, this is really coherent and good communication. So it's not just good, but it's expert. Because, Aman, remember, band 7 is good. So here, it's like, it's good. Not native. A native speaker has nothing to do with the band scores. Students, this is really, really important for those of you who are not clear on this. Being a native English speaker has nothing to do with the speaking section, like zero, zilch, nothing. Okay. When they are listening for a band 7, they're listening for good English. When they're listening for a band 8, they're listening for very good English. When they're listening for 9, it's expert English communication. All right. So again, these are the skills that you learn through your online accounts. So when you join at aehelp.com, you go to your My Student account, then in your full academic online course, in the speaking section, it will clearly explain that the IELTS exam is not a test of English as a second language or a foreign language. So it's a test of your proficiency, how well you express yourself in English. You need loud, natural, coherent, and complex language. Okay? All right. So that's what you need to do. Now, in this case, Aman, to make this a band 9, you need to add an example, right? So if you're going to say probably use one-time password numbers to access my accounts, you would say something like, since I am a computer programmer, I generate numerical. Here's some of that vocabulary that we talked about. I generate some numerical passwords, usually 6 digits, to access servers and projects on different programming platforms. Okay, so Aman, this would be a band 9 answer. Okay, you need to show band 9. Band 9 isn't just something that you get from speaking good natural English. Okay, so, well, in my daily life, I usually use numbers, like to call my parents, my friends. Moreover, I probably use one-time password numbers to access the account. I'm a computer programmer. I generate numerical passwords, usually 6 digits, to access servers and projects on programming platforms, like 10 times a day. Okay, now it's a band 9. All right, that's what a band 9 looks like. All right, students, let's practice speaking with each other. I'm going to share a Zoom link with you. Okay, now again, if you like this, remember, premium students on our website get 2 exclusive full Zoom classes each week. So there's a Zoom link. I'm going to start the Zoom session, and then we'll practice these questions with our viewers. So actually speaking, giving you a band score estimate, and giving you feedback. And so let me just open up Zoom here. And I'll let everybody in. Okay. So again, the link is in the chat, everybody. If you don't have Zoom, you can download it real quick. It only takes a minute or 2 to download and install. And then we will practice these questions with your classmates. So let me just let everybody in. Okay, and I will be letting people in as they kind of show up. Okay. Anahita, Alexander, V, Deborah, Anna. Nice to see everybody here. Let me mute everybody. I'm just going to mute everybody so we're not getting too much noise. Okay. All right. In Zoom, you have your Zoom controls. If you would like to send a message, you can send it there too, and you can volunteer by raising your hand. So in the reactions, you can raise your hand and you can lower your hand. Deborah has raised her hand, so we'll give Deborah a chance to start off here. Deborah, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, sir.
How are you, Deborah?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you too?
I'm doing great. I can hear in your voice that you're doing fantastic. It must be a good day in Ghana. A little bit windy, I can hear. Are you outside?
Yeah, I'm outside right now.
Okay, but I can hear you clearly. Okay, Deborah, let's do this. Are you ready?
Yes, please.
All right. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. May I see your identification?
Yes, please. Yes, my national ID card that I have used to register for the IELTS exams about 8 weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials.
Okay, for part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What did you do this morning?
Well, this morning I woke up around 4:30. I had my 30-minute devotion, and then around 5 o'clock I tidied out the compound, and then by 6:30 I set up for the IELTS exams.
Let's talk about numbers. What is your favorite number and why?
My best number is 20 because that was the day I was born. So each time I'm dealing with figures, I try to include 20. For instance, my national security number, 20 is part, and even my password for accessing the AE help, 20 is also part.
Okay, let me give you some feedback real quick. Deborah, good. Small corrections, okay? Pay attention to small corrections. So you're speaking, so that start is about a band 7 when I think about accuracy, fluency, detail, coherence, grammatical range. All of that considered, I would say, okay, it's a clear band 7. So far, it's good English. A very important correction. I know it's a hard one to kind of fix, Deborah, but we in natural English, when you say yes please, it means that you want me to do an action for you. Like I say, would you like some water? And then you say yes please. But if I say, may I see your identification, then you can't just say yes please, because I'm asking you to do something. I'm asking you to show me your identification. So you have to say something like, yes please take a look. It has to be followed by the full phrase. So yes, please take a look. Here's my national ID card that I used about 8 weeks ago to register for the test. Okay, so you really have to just add that part. For my ears, it sounds very awkward to just say yes, please in that situation. Try this one more time, Deborah. May I see your identification?
Yes, yes, please. Here is my national ID card that I
Yes,
have.
please take a look.
Okay. So please, how about saying settling? Here is my national ID card that
That
I have
works.
used.
That works. You can do it that way if you don't want to make that mistake. But definitely don't say yes, please. Just say yes, please take a look. Try it just once, just so it really in your brain it just gets stuck. Yes, please take a look.
Yes, please take a look.
Now you're telling me what you want me to do. That's why it has to be finished that way. Okay, so that's really important. Make sure that you really pay attention to that. It's not the end of the world, but you don't want to start your exam awkward in the first couple of words. Okay, so just really pay attention to that. What did you do this morning? That was a great answer. I loved all the quantification, and I felt empathy for you. I was like, 4:30. I know how it is to wake up at 4:30. That's an early morning. So you said I woke up at 4:30, and I liked how you said I set off for the IELTS exam. Set off for is a nice expression. It's idiomatic language, or a phrasal verb, if you will, and that's really nice. Set off for means that I started my journey. Okay, so set
Okay.
off to. So that was really nice. Start my journey. You have very nice vocabulary, Deborah, so you want to use it really well. I asked you what your favorite number is. You said my best number is. It's a little bit strange to say best number. I would just use favorite. It's not important to paraphrase right away in the first question. So my favorite number is 20. And then you said because that is the day I was born. And then you told me 20 is also part of your IELTS registration number, your passport, which is good. One missing part here, Deborah, that I was like, well, I wish you had said this to make it clear. What month were you born? So the 20th of what month?
January.
Okay, so my favorite number is 20 because that is the day I was born. I was born on January the 20th. Okay, so just repeat after me. My favorite number is 20 because that is the day I was born. I was born on January the 20th.
My favorite number is 20 because that was the day I was born. I was born on 20th January.
20th of January.
I was born on 20th of January.
Nice. That's the empathetic. You don't have to tell me the year. I know especially ladies are shy to tell the year, so you don't have to tell me the year, but the month and the day. I see it in your passport anyway, Deborah, right? So you might as well tell me. But that's how you want to do it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you too. Have a nice day.
You too. Continue having a great day. Bye, Deborah.
Bye, sir.
All right, that was Deborah. Let's give Deborah a thumbs up. That was lovely, lovely to hear Deborah's voice. She's having a great day out there. All right, everybody. So again, just as we kind of get going here, thumbs up from Anna. We can see Anna. Nice to see you, Anna. Hi, Anna. Right in the middle, Dimitri. We can see Dimitri is also looking sharp there in his icon. Alexander, Olawunmi, and Anahita have their hands up. Everybody, we're using Zoom here for this, and it's free. Zoom is, of course, one of the most popular chat conference. Okay, I see 12 more people have entered, so I'm going to let all of you in. Sai, Rifat, Nimit, Chayani, Jamila, Constellation, Medina. And then, so we've got, I don't know, lots of people in here now. We'll have like 30 people or so in here, which is great. Nimit, good to see you. Looking sharp, my good man. Oh, he's so clean shaven. I gotta figure out what kind of shaving cream you use. You just look so smooth. All right. So students, that's great. Just volunteer. Alexander, can you unmute yourself, please? I think you're already unmuted, Alexander. Maybe you're connecting there. I don't know, Alexander, what's going on with the connection. Let's jump to Anahita then. Anahita, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, sir.
Hi, Anahita.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm also fantastic.
All right. Are you experiencing a lot of rain right now on the East Coast?
And no, it's sunny today.
Oh, well, it's not always the same weather for us then. I guess
Yeah.
not, right? There's about 5,000 kilometers difference. So
Yeah.
it's very rainy here. Okay, Anahita, let's do this. Are you ready for some questions?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's talk about numbers. What numbers do you use often?
Well, the numbers that I use frequently are my phone number. And the numbers that I use frequently are +1 and 243 because the former one is the code of the contact code of here Canada, and the next one is the initials of my banking account. Just yesterday, I used these numbers to contact with my friends.
Which numbers are important to remember?
The numbers that are important to remember are our phone numbers and our birthdays, because these are not only required in many instances, but also important for other tasks. But also important for communicating with our loved ones. Just yesterday, I communicated with my loved ones through my phone number, which starts with +1 2 3 4.
Are you good at math?
Yes, I am good at math because when I was at high school, I had an educator who had a well-rounded knowledge in arithmetics, which is both geometry and algebra.
Okay. All right, Anahita. So I would say that so far your speaking is about a band 6. If you said the same a bit more fluently, I would give you a 6.5. Now, I know you're practicing using some different words in your answer, which is fine, but just a really important tip, and listen up everybody, in part 1 you don't need to use a lot of fancy vocabulary, especially in part 1, Anahita. It's really important that you just focus on good, clear fluency. So good fluency with clear, coherent answers. Use simple vocabulary if you must. In part 2, part 3, you will have lots of chances to show your range of vocabulary. Are you following me?
Yes, but I don't think I used any fancy word.
Well, yeah, I mean, you did. I'll show you. So, for example, you said I had an educator. Educate, you mean teacher, right? Like it's just,
Yeah.
like it's just simple. I had a teacher. I had a math teacher. I had a math
Doesn't
teacher.
it increase my band score if I use educator instead of a teacher?
Not if it sounds awkward and not if it breaks your fluency. If it sounds awkward and if it's breaking your fluency, then it's actually decreasing your score. And it doesn't sound natural. Sometimes you have to consider what sounds natural, right?
Yes.
In high school, you have a math teacher. Educator's a bit awkward. Most people would not say I had an educator. They would just say I had a math teacher. Educator would be like more for university or job training, like a situation like that where it's not a regular teacher per se. But in high school, I would say just math teacher. So you do a really good job of using the question to start your answer. You said, yes, I'm good at math. Okay. And yeah, you can say fancy paraphrasing like I'm proficient in arithmetic. So you could say something like
Yeah, I said later arithmetics. I had
Mhm.
a arithmetic teacher, I said, I think.
But it's not, again, it's not so important. It's much more important in part one to just have fluent, coherent language. You cannot sacrifice fluency and coherence for vocabulary. That's a bad trade. Okay, so I'm actually going to put this at the top as kind of a caution for everybody. So in IELTS, so this is a tip 6 here, never, and I mean never, trade fluency and coherence for vocabulary. This will only decrease your mark. Okay.
Okay, sir, but I was better in fluency in our interview, I think.
Absolutely. And there's so
I don't know why what happens in here.
well, 2 points. One, make sure you're speaking English before, right? So that's one way to avoid that mistake. So speak English before the class or before the interview. And then the other way to avoid that, of course, is just don't worry so much about vocabulary for the first couple questions, right? And then you'll be more fluent. So that's kind of the better approach. This question here, when I asked you what numbers do you use often, and you said, well, the numbers that I use frequently are my phone number, and then suddenly you changed your mind. This is another important tip, everybody.
Because I
Don't
didn't
change your
mention
mind.
the number.
I know, but don't change it unless okay, if you think what you're saying is wrong, then then yes, change it. But if you don't think you're wrong, then don't change it. So here, if you start with, well, the phone numbers that I use frequently are my phone number, my address, my social, then just keep going with that answer. You don't have to switch. So switching is awkward and it breaks fluency. Okay, so let's try this question again, Anahita, and just keep it simple. Don't give me numbers, just give me the names like phone number, address. Okay, so what numbers do you use often?
Well, the numbers that I use frequently are my phone number and my banking account because they are needed in my daily
Activities.
activities. Yes.
And that's it. That's all you need. I used my phone number this morning and my bank number before I came to this exam. And that's your example. And that's all you need.
Okay, can you repeat this example, sir?
Yeah, I used my phone number and my banking number this morning before I came to this exam.
I used my phone number and my banking account before coming to this exam today.
Sure, that works. Yeah. So simple start. Simple start, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, it's just like a long distance race, right? When you're running for a long distance, you don't start by sprinting in the first 100 meters. You start with a nice steady pace. It's at the very end where you sprint. It's the same idea for the IELTS speaking, okay?
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you, Anahita.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Anahita. All right, thank you for those of you who were patiently waiting in the room. Clay, Miguel, Murtazo, you're all in now. And there are lots and lots of hands up. That's what I like to see. A screen full of hands. Nimit's like, yes, indeed. Nimit, you're in the cog. We got to let Nimit. Look, he's so... Nimit, unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi Adrian.
I'd ask you how you're doing, but you look so happy. I know you're happy.
No, actually, the thing is, there was a kind of disruption in the between, and I just couldn't follow you.
Ah,
So I didn't hear you. I'm sorry for that.
not a problem. Nimit, are you ready for a couple questions?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Okay, let's talk about numbers. Uh, are you good at math?
Yes, I am good at math. I think that is one of my favorite subject today, and also it used to be during my school days. I used to get a decent score during my math exams, and the reason I like the most is the calculation parts. It's more of a logic than a stereotype understanding of a particular subject.
Have the way people use numbers changed compared to a couple of decades before?
Oh yes, certainly I think so. Because nowadays, due to so much of technology, the dependency on the devices are more, even though the calculations remains the same. But I think the application of mind has reduced a bit because of the over dependency on the technological devices. As we can see, use of calculators, and also during the work we use more of Excel and some other similar softwares. If we want to calculate, for example, if we want to calculate the height of a building,
Okay, that is the
we
end of
use the
part
code.
one. And then we'll go on to part two. All right, Nimit, that was really good. So Nimit, that was fantastic, everybody. So that's pretty much what a band 8 to 9 answer sounds like. Okay, for those two questions, band 8 to 9. I think, Nimit, that first answer that you gave me when I asked you, are you good at math? That was a band 9 answer. So it was a really nice, clear explanation. It's very clear to me that you are an expert when it comes to the topic of talking about math and your enjoyment of math. So if I sit down with you and I have a discussion about your opinion on math and how good you're at math, then we can have a very good conversation about that. So you explained that it was one of your favorite subjects in the past than it is today. You used to get a decent score. I liked how you said decent score. It's nice natural English. You explained why you liked it, or why you like it, because it's an expression of logic. And I thought that was a very, very clear, advanced explanation, Nimit. So that was really good. So nothing to change for that question. That was, in my opinion, different than what I would have said, but I think that was a perfect answer, quote unquote. Okay. I think there was just one like tiny little grammatical S missing or something like that, but anyway, it's not a big deal. So that would have been a perfect. Have the way people use numbers changed compared to a couple of decades before? You said, oh yes, certainly I think so. Just a tip. Remember, Nimit, I think you've heard me say this before. When it's present perfect, right? Use present perfect right away. Oh yes, it has. I don't think I caught the present perfect. It's really important to pay attention. The examiner's kind of fishing for grammar in this case. Okay. So, oh yes, it has. Certainly, I think so, because nowadays use of technology and dependency is much more. And then you explained it. There were just a couple of slight grammatical errors that make it a more of an 8 than a 9. But overall, it was quite good. Just make sure that you finish your answer. Okay, Nimit? So you could just say during work we use more software like Excel, and in the past it was all pen and paper, like that. Okay, so just repeat after me, Nimit. So these days at work, people use computers and software like Excel, as where in the past it was more pen and paper.
These days, people use more of technology like softwares like Excel. As in the past, it was more of pen and paper.
Yeah, exactly, right. So when you're comparing a couple of decades ago, like 20, 30, 40 years ago, then you need to reflect on past, present, and use the numbers to make the comparison clear, right? Like in 2020 or 2024 compared to 1990, right? So you can make that clear comparison. Use numbers when you're talking about numbers, right, Nimit? It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but overall, very nice, Nimit, very nice. When you're comfortable and you're focused, I think you do a really good job. So just stay in that position, okay?
Yeah, surely.
Thank
And
you.
I think and I think I need to be more have a finishing touch towards the end, because I just fumbled a bit. That was, I felt I was
Yeah,
not able to close the statement, and then I think you stopped me, and I felt that okay, I have missed on this part of
exactly.
closing. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good communication should have, it's like ping pong, right? Like you pass to me, I pass to you, you pass to me, I pass to you. If you're just hitting balls at me and I'm going, ah, like that's right, then we're not really playing a game. Then you're just hitting me with a lot of balls, right? So we need to pass back and forth, and so we need to have that
yeah,
finish point. Absolutely. So that's a good point to
yes,
make. And usually the best way to do that is with an example, right? Like you can say, my dad used notebooks, I use a laptop, right? For numbers.
yeah,
So you can
yeah,
just finish with an example like that and then just stop, right?
yes,
Okay. Nimit, thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you, Adrian.
All right, let's give Nimit a thumbs up. So many volunteers, who to choose? We've got tons and tons of people. Let's see if we can choose maybe Constellation. I don't think we've heard a. Oh, we have heard a couple female voices. Yes, I'm wrong. Constellation, can you unmute yourself? Nimit, thumbs up. Mm-hmm.
Hi, sir.
How are you, Constellation?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm also doing well. Thank you. I haven't heard from you in a while. How has life been treating you, Constellation?
Not so nice, but yeah, I'm doing fine. Got a
No,
new
that's-
job.
Oh, well, there you go. Focus on the positive, right?
Yeah.
What's the new job, if you don't mind me asking?
Ah, yeah. Currently, I'm an import and export supervisor.
Import-export supervisor sounds important.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Constellation, are you ready for a few questions?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, you must deal a lot with numbers in your work, right?
Not really.
Not right.
Yeah.
Not needed for import-export these days. All right. Okay. Well, let's talk about numbers. What is your favorite number?
My favorite number is none other than number 4, and because I really believe in numerology, and number 4 is my life path number. So I believe this number will give me luck. I often involves my daily life to a lot of things, like I buy 4 apples, or I buy 4 pairs of shoes in a row, because it will make me luckier.
What numbers do you use often?
I'm on a daily basis. I have to use my phone number because I got contact with my employers and also my family. Aside from that, I have to memorize my identification number because it is, essential to for me to access to my bank account.
Have the way we use numbers changed compared to a couple of decades before?
Yes, the way that we use number have changed. The way that we use number has changed a great deal, I believe, because I remember in the past we only use pen and paper to do calculation, but these days we have more, more modern technologies like softwares. I often use Excel in my job to handle with numbers.
Okay. All right. Let me stop there for a moment. So that was about Constellation, about a band 7. Your fluency is very good. Your fluency is about a band 8. You're quite fluent. And you're quite comfortable with English. Just some slight oddities, like you said, I have to use Excel to handle with numbers. I have to use Excel to handle numbers. Now, a more accurate word than numbers would be what? What does Excel actually handle, usually, when we're talking about Excel? So, some paraphrasing here, for sure. It starts with a D, Constellation. It handles... Data. Exactly. Yes. I have to use Excel to handle data, right?
Yes.
Numbers is okay, but data is more accurate, right? So,
Yes.
So it's a bit of a better word than numbers in this case. When you're calculating and handling data, Constellation, because I know you have good vocabulary. I'm always impressed by it. In the past, I've been, for sure. When there's an interesting expression. Let's see if anybody can figure this out in the chat. When you are calculating data, there's a collocation or an expression in English. It starts with a C. It's CR something 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 data. Do you know what it is, Constellation? It's a fun one to learn, everybody. When you're inputting...
I have no idea.
No idea? You might. Once I say it, you'll be like, I know, I've heard that before. So when you're inputting data, you're processing data, we say it, it's not create. Dimitri's saying create. Fuang's saying create. It's not create. It's crunch. You're crunching data.
Oh,
Have you ever heard this?
first time I heard this.
Yeah, you're data crunching, or you're crunching data. So crunch data means that you are processing data. Okay, so data crunching. It's very common way to say it. So repeat after me. In my workplace, I have to use Excel to crunch data, but in the past, people used calculators and paper and pencil to do the same.
This day in my workplace, I have to use Excel to crunch data, but in the past, people often used papers and pencil to deal with numbers.
Beautiful. That's great. Yeah, that's exactly this. Okay. All right, so that's a new one, it sounds like, for many people, but it is very commonly used. Crunch data. We use it with numbers too. I have to crunch. So if somebody says, for example, like, let's buy a new car, oftentimes you'll hear a response like, I have to go home and crunch some numbers to make sure I can afford it. Okay, it means that you're processing your information. Okay. All right. Constellation, that was really good. I hope that new job works out for you. I hope that you're, treated well and respected and paid well. Don't let them
Yes,
skim
I
you.
hope so. That's the most important thing. Sorry.
Right. I mean, when you're buying 4 pairs of shoes at one time, it's, you need a bit of money for that, right? So
Yeah, that's a big life.
All right. That answer for me was, by the way, a little bit unclear, Constellation. You said you're into numerology, which is good. I understood what that means. But why number 4? I didn't quite catch you on that part. So why does number 4 have a special meaning for you in numerology? What is it connected to?
Number 4 represents like my personality, like resilience, and emotional intelligence.
Okay, I
So,
didn't catch
yeah.
that part clearly. So when you're, and this is an important point, everybody, if you're expressing something unique, which is good, it shows advanced communication, so it's good to do that. Just make sure that you take an extra bit of time to really clearly explain that, because it doesn't matter if you're a native speaker or you're a non-native speaker. It's a unique idea. It takes effort to clearly explain it to anybody. So you have to slow down. You have to say, I'm into numerology. That's, of course, the belief that numbers have special meanings. and the number 4 expresses my personality because the number 4 represents A, B, C, D, right? So you have to really clearly convey that information. Does that make sense, Constellation?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
It does.
It does.
It does. Good.
It
good.
does.
Thank you, Constellation.
I have a snap in my mind. Yeah, think carefully.
Exactly. Thank you, Constellation. Have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye, sir.
Bye for now. All right. That was Constellation. All right. Lots of hands up. Let's get Varun in here. Varun,
Hello,
how are you, Varun?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I am doing very well. I appreciate you volunteering. Varun, where are you connecting from?
I'm connecting from India,
What part?
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. All right.
Yes.
A very historical part of the country. Okay. Varun, what is your goal in the IELTS? What is your target band score?
My target score is 6.5.
Okay. Well, even just the way you answered that for me, it sounds like you're on the right track. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So for part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better. Some questions on a general topic. Do you work or study?
Currently, I am pursuing my master's.
Let's
Hello?
talk about numbers. What is your favorite number?
My favorite number is 1, 2, 3, 10, and up to 1,000 quite frequently. And I use quietly blocks of math and come up all the times in my everyday tasks and calculations.
Which numbers are important to remember?
Mm, I use up to 1,000, means like my phone number or my and I use frequently in my everyday task, which is 91467, which is my mobile number. I frequently use this number.
Okay. Not bad. So far, your band score is about a 5.5, but I think, Varun, that you can get a 6.5. You just have to change your content a little bit. So you have to simplify your thinking. IELTS isn't meant to be super tricky. It's not meant to make you go crazy. Okay. When you get a question like this, what is your favorite number? Pick one number. You confused me. You said 1, 2, 3, 10, 1,000. I'm like, what? One number, one favorite number. So don't pick a lot of numbers. It's
No,
really
I was
confusing.
confused, so that's why.
Yeah. What? Okay. Well, let's try this question one more time, Varun. One number. Tell me why you like it. Give me an example. Okay. What is your favorite number?
Uh, uh, my favorite number is it is 10. I like it because it is a nice symmetric number, and it is a round number, and it holds a significance in various contexts, like representing perfection or completion.
Perfect. I love it. That was a okay. So that answer, Varun, was like a band 9. Okay. So see, this is what I get emotional about the IELTS, because I think a lot of people have really high band capability when they're thinking correctly about the questions. So that was a really good answer about the number 10 being your favorite and why you like that number 10. The previous one was very confusing for me. So now you showed me a much more advanced version of your thinking in your English language. And that's what you want to focus on. Okay. So really pay attention to content, Varun. Okay.
Oh, okay,
All right. That was a great answer. That was way higher than a 6.5, that answer. Okay. Thank you.
okay.
All right. Let's give Varun a thumbs up. That was really good. So yeah, content. I mean, it's the cliche saying, everybody, content is king. Content is king. Students, there are a lot of you in here, and I mean, clearly I won't be able to get everybody in today, but this is why I'm really encouraging a lot of you to sign up for our premium courses at aehelp.com and glshelp.com, because then you get 2 Zoom classes. And if those Zoom classes start to get a lot of students, then guess what? I'll start doing more Zoom classes. So, and those are full 90-minute Zoom classes, so everybody gets a chance to speak and interact that really wants to. Thank you, Chayani. Nice explain, Chayani. You nailed it. Thank you, Chayani. Students, the websites, they look like this for the academic at aehelp.com. And to sign up for the premium version, just click the big red button. Chayani, I definitely look forward to having you moderate again, and I'll get you in on the chat as well on Zoom. Carolina, thank you for being here. Thank you to all those people who were volunteering. I wish I had time for all of you for some speaking interactions. With so many people in the class, I will definitely navigate the class in such a way that more of you will get a chance to speak. Okay, so Alexander, I've got you on my radar. Tomorrow we have writing and we have listening. Okay, for the general IELTS, it's glshelp.com. Again, that red button that's there, you can click it to join the premium version. Then you get the Zoom links, the invites for the premium classes, everybody. Thanks to everybody watching, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. The Task 2 writing class will start a little bit earlier than today's class. Have an awesome rest of your day. You're all amazing individuals, and you have beautiful brains. So just keep nourishing your mind with language and with curiosity. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria. Bye for now, everybody.